On this episode of Checking In, I want you to pay particular attention to Catherine's comment around mentorship. I think it was a real catalyst in what kept her grounded and made sure that she had to achieve nothing but success. And today we're joined with Catherine Pynappels of Lending Max, a mortgage broker of almost 3 years.
Getting close, yep.
Thank you for joining us, Catherine. So, full disclosure, you have worked with me in an employee-employer relationship in a previous time. So I have a little bit more comfort level with you and knowledge about you than most people that would come in and sit with me and talk to me in our series Checking In. So I can tell a little bit about you, and then you can correct me. I know you are a doula, and you came from radio of about 7 years, selling, and went to bed one day and woke up and decided to be a mortgage broker.
No.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Okay.
There was the part from radio to Kelowna Now.
Correct.
And then
sales. Yes. Mm-hmm. But being a mortgage broker, I mean, you have to sell why someone would pick you to underwrite their mortgage versus someone else in the marketplace. And it's a pretty competitive marketplace.
I agree. It completely is.
So I'm curious, more so about the Catherine and the business component than the mortgage broker component.
Most people are. Yeah, most people are.
So Sebastian, your husband, owns Kelowna Cell Repair.
Yep.
So entrepreneurial. You guys need to depend on the income, and I don't know how long he's had Kelowna Cell Repair, but it's been for as long as I remember. Mm-hmm. For a two-income earning household, for both of you to be self-employed, wow. What were some of the decisions that you were making? Like, why did you look at being a boss of yourself versus an employee?
Well, Kelowna Cell Repair was started around 12 years ago. My husband learned how to repair televisions and VCRs. His family had a business in the Netherlands and then brought that business over here, Ultronics here in Kelowna. And my husband was raised with his brother working in the shop. And Sebastian got his aircraft maintenance certificate and ended up going into sales because the money was better, and he worked in the cell phone industry. And there were people that just kept coming in and with broken phones that couldn't afford to buy new phones. So he started bringing phones back to the house and repairing them. Out of mind, this is before Google videos or anything could teach you how to, put on a new screen. But it became so busy, and I was home with a new baby, that I just didn't want any more people coming to the house to pick up their phones. So we leased a little space down on Bernard, and that's where we've been ever since, and it's just been such a busy little shop. So that business got successful enough where I was able to either stay home with my babies or make the choice that if I didn't want to work so much, I didn't need to. It was important for me to attend all of the special things that my children needed me to be at. So I made the decision to get my broker's license, to be a mortgage broker, and go out on my own.
So you had a hand in Kelowna Cell Repair. So you had a taste of entrepreneurship and business and startup and challenges and doubt. So lots of the businesses that I meet with, many business people are successful by accident. It isn't done on purpose or with intent, and there isn't a master plan that got them there. So it almost sounds like the story of Sebastian doing it off the side of his desk, that it just came to be on its own and you guys kind of went with it.
Totally, 100%.
So you had a taste of business success, big success, entrepreneurship, when you were coming back into the workforce. So the decision to look at being your own boss was solely through the lens of being able to be part of what the kids are doing?
For me, yes. It actually was a visitation with one of my best friends that had a successful brokerage and really wanted to have a second baby, but just didn't want to have her business ran by somebody that she couldn't trust or didn't know well enough to trust with this business that she built here, which is when she proposed to me to go to school, and she would take me under her wing and she would teach me how to be a mortgage broker. And then in turn, I would look after her business while she was away, which is what I did when she had her baby. After I got my license, she trained me for about another 6 months. She left, got to stay home with her child for a year, and then she returned back, and now we're hitting deals on together.
Okay, so this is cool. For you to go back to school, that's a big ask. How many times during your courses did you have doubt? Did you wonder that you could do what you needed to do to have success?
I couldn't even count the times. I was tired. I was working full time. I was studying. I was dealing with all the kids' sports activities, school activities. Studying in the evenings was not working well because you're tired. So I had to put a different plan in action. But I had a great mentor that helped me through. So I was lucky in that way when I did go back to school that I did have somebody that could help guide if I needed the help. But many times it was very hard. I found it difficult, but I'm glad I did it.
So then the other thing that I heard when you were describing sort of how that scenario came to be, you actually got to do a quote-unquote off-Broadway. You went, you got your training, you got your license, you were able to step into a position that had a client base and let you do your live learning, your real learning. That's rare. Mm-hmm. Do you think you would have stepped into the industry without that path?
No.
Yeah.
There's no way. No.
So now, okay, so she was on maternity leave for how long?
For a full year.
For a full year.
A little bit over that,
So
actually.
You were cutting your teeth for a year. You had lots of resources to rely on to help you with her portfolio. And now you get to be out on your own?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I have the opportunity that she's returned. She's looking after her book of business, and I'm beginning to grow mine, and I'm starting to see my referrals come in from clients that I've done mortgages for, just connecting back into the community and just getting a chance to be myself again, because I kind of hid behind the desk for a good year because she had a high volume of business and I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew. So I had one focus, and that was to swim and not sink on all of her files coming in the door.
So Catherine, it's a big leap to do something like that. Like, not many people are willing to jump into the deep end, and I think you did, especially, and from lots of different places, from both of you being entrepreneurs and that income not being guaranteed. I mean, there's a lot of risks that are associated with that. So how do you think you navigated that, or how is it? Does it have to do with your characteristics and your traits being really driven, like there was no option for failure, or what do you contribute to the success that I think you've already seen and the success that I know you're going to have moving forward?
Again, it'll go back to my partner, Michelle. She was very hard on me in the training and processes that needed to be in place. Because she had the 10 years of making different errors in her earlier years that she had taught me as a new broker ahead of the game. So all of these different safety catches were put in place. Sorry, that's my phone.
That's allowed. The life of a mortgage broker.
Savannah, just tell him I'll call him back. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I made a promise to a best friend is ultimately how I stayed. There were stressful times when I first was on my own. If things start to go sideways, you know, I'm accountable for it. I need to do a good job in these files. These people need this money for the purchases or refinances to happen. So there were stressful times, but the guidance of my girlfriend kept me in the game, and I didn't give up. Sometimes I wanted to, but ultimately because I made a promise to her so she could be home with her children.
So was there a time where that white towel was in hand and you were ready to toss it in? Was there ever that close to the cliff moment?
I wouldn't say that close. High anxiety, just questioning if you've done something right, or maybe a file starts to go a little bit wonky. But now I know that all files, they all can go a little bit wonky, and it's okay to question things. So if a lender came back to me and was questioning something, it doesn't mean the deal's dead. I can question them back and state a case for my clients and continue on with the deal. So I learned how to do that as well.
Would you consider yourself successful right now to your standards of what you would consider a successful business journey?
Yeah, I do. I feel really confident when I'm talking with my clients. I feel confident in knowing that I can help them get where they need to be, or I can help them do what they need to do today that they're asking of me. Yeah, I do.
Are you going to grow your business? Do you want more people within your team, or do you like it exactly the way it is?
The way it is. I wouldn't hire a team.
Yeah.
No.
And is there something that you would want to share with someone that was contemplating creating the lifestyle that they wanted through being an entrepreneur, being self-employed?
I would say attach yourself to somebody within the industry that is experienced, is open, is understanding, is willing and ready to train you in the industry, which is hard to find. There's not a lot of people that will do that. Do your research. Where is the market going? How are things trending? You want to do things that are going to make you happy. So will it fulfill what you want on the inside, outside of your career as well? Is there a good balance before you jump in? Those aren't things that I checked into. I just went, I can, work when I want, and, I'll work for my girlfriend and it'll be all good. But it was actually quite a stressful process. But I didn't do a lot of the research because I had somebody presenting an offer to me. But for somebody that is going out on their own, really doing some research and trying to attach yourself to somebody else that has that experience in the industry.
Any regrets or anything you do different than you did over the last 3 years?
Well, coming into Landmark 6 and seeing this beautiful building makes me go, should I have left Kelowna now? However, I am enjoying what I'm doing now that I have the full confidence to truly achieve people's mortgage needs. Makes me feel really good to help people bridge that gap and guide them through the process of financing. So it makes me feel really good. So I don't have any regrets.
Catherine, you're amazing, and it is an honor to know you, and I'm so privileged you came in to share with us today. Thank you.
Thanks, Nikki.